Hi, my name is Monique Ruffin and welcome to my living room. We are here today because I have been doing these videos in support of a new awakening in women's sexuality and sensuality in direct correspondence to the recent debate that's happening in Washington, D.C., where we have seen such things as Catholic bishops who are opposing paying for women's contraception. We have seen most currently Rick Santorum saying that sex should be just for procreation, and just all sorts of wild ideas about women's sexuality. And what occurred for me is that there's this idea that we're being censored, that women are not participating, that we are at the effect of, male, power in this dialogue. But really, what most people don't know is that women are not talking about our sexuality even amongst ourselves. So when there is a congressional hearing, the one that was led by Representative Darrell Issa from California, last week, where there are no women invited, that makes sense because women are not talking about their sexuality and sensuality really, and we don't know a lot about our bodies. And just recently I got an email a moment ago, which is why I sat down today, because I wasn't going to be here today because my gray hair was driving me crazy and I wanted to wait until I got it done. But when I got this email from the DCCC, I thought, okay, I need to sit and talk, because it said stop censoring women. And how we're going to stop censoring women is if we stop censoring ourselves. And for me, that means learning about our bodies, really talking about it out loud, how they work, and the benefit of understanding our sexuality and sensuality. For decades, centuries even, we have been told nothing about our bodies. We don't understand the science and the chemistry of what goes on inside of a girl when she starts puberty, what it means when a girl becomes a woman. And we have often, and we usually harshly judge women who outwardly act on what feels like budding sensuality that occurs during puberty. And we make girls be wrong for desiring sex, for getting attention from men. But what I'm learning as I'm reading this book by Dr. Lorraine Brizendine, The Female Brain is the title of the book, is that what happens to a teenage girl during puberty when she turns 13 is that her brain is being flooded with estrogen. And what that estrogen is actually doing is changing her chemistry in a way that makes her absolutely desire the attention of men and boys, or boys. Like it turns her into an attention seeking crazy girl. Like what she wants, what she thinks about, what she is consumed with is she attractive to the boys that that are in her environment. It's normal. It's science. It's the way we were created. So, ladies, for those of us who are far past 13, like I am, and we remember being judged or judging other girls as whores or sluts, or she's loose, and, being really mean and gossipy and destructive to ourselves and to other girls for what was occurring naturally, now we have an opportunity to really begin to reframe that time and to understand it as a natural occurrence. We judge ourselves so harshly often. I know I did, because I was conflicted with my upbringing and my religious views. I was taught that celibacy was the only way to live my life until I was married, but that conflicted tremendously with what was going on inside of me. And my body was really a flame, like it was a volcano, and all I could think about was sex, not unlike a teenage boy. The difference in, teenage boys and women, though, or teenage boys and teenage girls, is that their chemistry happens outside of them. We see it. They have erections, and these erections are oftentimes involuntary. Well, what's going on inside of us is involuntary also. And our desires and our sensual ways of being that are beginning to blossom is involuntary, because the science of it, our brains are telling us that that is how we should be behaving as we become women, preparing us for procreation. And so as this current conversation in Washington happens, and a lot of these political organizations are shaming men and making them being wrong for censoring us, I'm here to say that that's not necessarily true, that there are a couple of things that are happening. It might look like we're being censored because of the way the media spins the story, but the truth is that women don't know a lot about our bodies. We don't know how they work. We often don't talk about our own desires and our natural desire for sexuality and sensuality. We don't talk about our fantasies and who we are, and we don't celebrate it. That's really what's key here. We don't celebrate it. We continue to live under a shroud of shame about our sexuality and sensuality, and we continue to do our best to cover it because we still hold within us these ideas that a woman who enjoys sex or desires sex outside of the confines or the structure, because marriage is not necessarily confining, but the structure of marriage is somehow bad, dirty, a slut, or a whore. And I really want to challenge that idea. I want to challenge us so that we can begin to live in our bodies, understand them, celebrate them, understand the mystical experience that occurs in the chemistry of who we are, the creative component, this body that can create life, can carry a life to, can carry a life until we have another human being on the planet. But within that is a mystical experience, a spiritual experience of creativity. We, at our very core, as women, are creative. We are able to take an idea or something inside of ourselves and nurture it and hone it until it has life. And that is very much connected to our sensuality and sexuality. And so as we begin to learn more, talk more with one another, have conversations, share, celebrate ourselves, explore, we can then share this information with other women, share it with our children, celebrate our daughters and allow them to explore their own sensuality and sexuality, and do so in a way that doesn't shame them, but allows them to be responsible, accountable to themselves, to others. And it's just information. I mean, really, information is power. And so I'm grateful for this conversation. I'm grateful that this current debate in Washington is shining light on something that was sort of in the shadows. It's giving us an opportunity to come out from amongst the shadows and talk about who we are, talk about not only, contraception or our reproductive rights, but talk about women's sexuality and sensuality outside of the confines of religion, to understand that we exist as sexual, sensual beings, and that often has nothing to do with our religious practices. And when it does, it is also extraordinarily beautiful and spiritual. And so I'm grateful to be here in this dialogue. If you have questions, you can email me at moniquecruffin@gmail.com, or you can go to my webpage. It's just Monique Ruffin. sexuality.com. You can Facebook me there, you can tweet with me, and I'm really excited about this dialogue. So if you have any questions, I've already gotten emails about different perspectives and ideas. I'm completely open. Like I said in the first video, I am not an expert, but I look forward to being after this is done. I do believe that there is a re-emergence of feminine sensuality and awakening occurring in our lives individually and on the planet right now. And this current political conversation just shows us where we have existed up till now and gives us the opportunity to move forward more empowered, awakened, aware, informed, so that we can make our planet a better place, so that we can open our hearts and live our lives in a way that is much more inclusive of men and women and who we are individually and collectively, and what we have to offer to our planet. So let's begin to live our sensual, beautiful, luscious lives, and as we do so, we will begin to experience relationships and ourselves in a way that we have not up till now. Have a wonderful day, and I will be here again in a few days. Thank you. Bye.